The EDP445 documentary dropped a few days ago, and that definitely wasn't something that was on my bingo list. When the man above gave us free will, I do not believe that this is what he had in store for us to use it for. But since it's here and a bit too long if you ask me, I watched it so you don't have to. So let's get into it. My first takeaway from this is now I see why that movie called Primetime is dropping next year about Chris Hansen being an opportunistic freak. There was no need for him to interview EDP. I can understand him being in here because he did have some good insight about the other Predators, YouTubers, sting operations, and he gave us very good insight about what they were doing right and wrong, but him interviewing EDP was needless. There was no insightful conversation. EDP isn't some misunderstood genius with a tragic past. He's just a pedophile. I'll talk about that later, but once the interview was done, it was really, why are you here? The only thing he really said was, he bragged about it. Oh, if that was me, you'd be in jail. But EDP said, but it wasn't you. But it wasn't you, my nigga, that shit. Hey, EDP got a fucking aura moment because Chris fucking Hansen wanted to interview him. Why? And my second thought is something I touched on in the first point. Why is this documentary being made in the first place? EDP is not some misunderstood person with a childhood full of trauma and shit like that. He's just an opportunistic pedophile. He's a man who got no pussy, so because he couldn't get pussy from women his age, he looked to take advantage of little kids. There was no need for a documentary. He's just a bad person. That's it. Why do you need an hour and 30 minutes video? In this video, they tried to humanize this man. They talked about his relationship with children and showed us him interacting and playing with kids. Why? They talked about his sex life. Why? They showed him having a girlfriend and talked about that relationship. Why? We don't give a fuck. Why are you trying to make me give a fuck about this man right here? Why are you showing us him in the proximity of any children? Why? Like, we caught this man twice. Why are we, maybe I'm just getting mad for no reason, but that shit made no sense. The whole second half of this documentary, 45 minutes of the documentary is them going through the fucking daily life of EDP. For what reason? It doesn't matter. Those are just my initial takeaways after I finished watching this video, so let's get into it, going step by step. The beginning of this video was probably the best part of it all. I can even say as a whole, the tone is amazing because it is very depressing most of the time, and that's fantastic. I'm so glad to see that EDP's life is fucking dog shit.
I have two great paying, well-loving jobs. My health is, pretty fucked up, but I'm doing whatever I can.
We find out that EDP has to constantly work two jobs because his health is in constant decline. If he stops working a job, he will not be able to pay for the treatment that keeps him alive. And if he misses one treatment, he'll die. That's such a great negative feedback loop. He is basically stuck in a depression loop of doom and despair. And he also allegedly stopped talking to minors. Allegedly. Then the video takes a deep dive into his childhood and we saw something that I could not foresee. Like I mentioned earlier, EDP isn't some misunderstood guy with a past full of trauma and shit like that. This man had an amazing childhood. He came from a loving two-parent household with parents that cared about him and his sister very dearly. Him and his sister played all the time, and as a family, as a unit, they all got into football together, and one of his favorite memories was him watching WWE wrestling with his sister every weeknight. This guy's life was fucking great.
My favorite memory as a kid growing up was Monday nights, me and my sister would do our homework, and then at around 8:30, maybe 9 o'clock, we would get ready to watch Monday Night Raw is War, like fucking wrestling and shit, you know what I mean?
I'd also like to take a moment to pause and talk about the people who accepted this role of being casted as playing EDP. The bag could not have been that good. They are putting this actor in very weird positions and scenes. He's like naked all the time. He's fucking beating his meat all the time, humping sex dolls. No way the pay could have been that good, my brother. This guy must have been going through it. And to the parents that let their child be casted as baby EDP, you have lost your cotton picking minds. I know you're black. You've lost your cotton picking minds. Your son might grow up and hate you. Don't let his high school classmates find out that nigga played EDP in a documentary. Oh my God. The bag could not have been that good. There is just no way. You sold out your son's image rights for a few $100s? Nah, bro. Do not ever let anyone find out that your son played EDP or he's going to be going through fucking hell growing up. The next thing we see is a perfect microcosm of how so many young boys fall into red pill pipelines and ideologies. While he was in elementary school or high school or whatever, EDP was talking to a girl, and by talking, he thinks it was serious because she let him hug him and she held his hand sometimes. But one day when he saw her talking to another guy, he freaked out, he cried about it, and it led to him hating women.
I was legitimately fucking hurt. Like I felt crushed inside, you know? With Martha, it basically showed me women ain't shit and they will play you, they will fuck you over, and won't even fucking think twice about it.
A relationship that he had when he was fucking 12 with a girl he was not dating led to him despising women with a burning passion. I'm not saying his feelings aren't valid because they obviously are. We've all been there and that shit fucking hurts. Even if it's with someone you aren't dating, when you're that young, just seeing the person you want leave you for someone else, it hurts like hell. But the fact that his takeaway from that was such visceral hatred for all women shows signs of an emotionally unregulated person. It's not how, yes, you're allowed to be hurt. Why are you gonna hate the whole monolith of women because of what one girl did to you? A girl that you weren't even dating, so she didn't even do shit to you, actually. She didn't do shit to you. You're allowed to be hurt, but she didn't owe you shit. So what are we doing? This is always so fascinating to see because I see this in real life all the time. Because the fact that everyone has been through this, all of us, male or female, it doesn't matter. We've all been through a heartbreak with someone who we weren't dating, and even if you were dating, that young, a heartbreak, yeah, it hurts, but in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't mean that much. But the fact that so many boys, because girls go through the same thing, but so many boys experience that mini heartbreak, and it leads to them going down such a twisted path for absolutely zero reason. A minor setback such as this should not impact your mentality this much. Yes, it hurts. Trust me, we have all been there. I have been there, and especially at that age where you're developing and growing. But there is no need for you to look at, especially in hindsight. Again, in the moment it hurts, but as you grow, you can look back and say, hey, everyone here is rash, impulsive, and driven by their hormones right now. Maybe it's not the best thing for me to expect perfection from this random 14-year-old, all right? It's okay, because shit happens. They're all growing and developing at a pace that they can't even conceive. There was no need for me to expect everyone to be perfect because you weren't perfect. You did some bad stuff. You probably hurt some people, but would it be okay for them to hold a grudge for the rest of their life? No. So there's no need for you to hold one too. That's the takeaway a rational person would deduce anyway, and as we know, EDP is not that. But in hindsight, EDP really did live such an amazing life. He grew up in a loving two-parent household. He had a very normal high school and elementary school experience because we've all been there, and he ended up with almost 4 million subscribers on YouTube by sitting in front of a camera and screaming for 15 minutes per or whatever. This guy's life was it. He was literally set. Then he hit a point where he was wondering why he was still a virgin who couldn't get women. According to the ideology he believed in, the red pill ideology or the manosphere ideology, he should be getting them in droves. He was a man with status. He was almost 4 million subs on YouTube, and he had money. He had over $100,000 liquid cash in his bank account at all times. In his eyes, women should be drooling at the thought of him because in his eyes, money and status and power are all that women want.
Yeah, so I mean, at the current point in time, even at the peak of my YouTube channel, I was still a virgin. I didn't have any self-confidence to talk to girls. It's like you come home to all this shit, man. You got a nice ass fucking Acura MDX in the parking lot, brand new 2021 Hyundai Elantra, nice ass house. You got fucking over 120 grand in the fucking bank. No pussy at all. Had all this fucking money and still couldn't get a fucking girlfriend. That shit was like, what the fuck, you know what I mean?
So he kept asking himself, now that I have all this, where are all the women? I'll give you an easy answer, but then I'll give you the right answer. The easy answer is lose weight. You are extremely overweight. This man is 444 pounds. That's where the 445 from EDP445 came from. If he lost 70% of that body fat and gained some muscle, unfortunately, he would still be allowed to be a fucking dickhead, jackass, bigot that he is, and he would still get women because he would be significantly more attractive while still having that money and status. If he did that, sadly, he would be able to get some women because some girls are able to overlook the fact that you are a terrible person. If you look decent, because I don't think he'll look handsome ever. Maybe, well, I'm not sure, I don't know. I've seen him now. I kind of picture him handsome. He might just be a Chad of all Chads if he just gets fit. But if he does lose, I won't even say all of it, lose a lot of that body fat, get some muscle, and just become like a regular body. He's a ball. He waddles when he walks. That's unattractive to almost anyone. If he just got in a more normal sized body, I think he'd get women solely based off that and the fact that he is wealthy and has status. Now, the correct answer is an answer that requires a lot of time and effort to achieve. The first thing he'd have to do is come to terms with what happened with him in the past. There is no need for you to hold a grudge against all women simply based off something one girl did to you when you were 15. I'm sure there are some girls who wanted him at that age, but because he wanted someone else, he most likely ignored them. But would those girls have the right to hold a grudge against him forever? No, because that's weird. You guys are in high school. There's no need to hold lifelong vendettas against someone because they didn't want you. People aren't gonna want you every day of your fucking life. Shit happens. My high school experience was extremely similar. Like him, I got 0 bitches. I was not the looker. I wasn't the tallest or buffest guy. I was skinny as fuck, honestly. And I was an extreme introvert, and that did not help. I literally didn't speak to anyone ever. I was in class mute. I just didn't talk because I didn't know anyone there. By some fucking miracle, this one girl started speaking to me. I do not know how. I had 0 classes with her. I don't know her from anywhere. No mutual friends or something like that. But one day in a group setting, she began to speak to me. Obviously, because I get no bitches, I'm not falling for that pump fake. You think I'm stupid? Just because you talk to me, you don't want me for real, bro. Stop playing my fucking feelings. Go over there, leave me alone. I'm not falling for that shit. And then her friend told me one day she likes me, and that's all I needed to hear. Beggars cannot be choosers, and boy, oh boy, I was a fucking beggar. So I let her acquire me like a fucking Pokemon because, like I said, beggars can't be choosers. I'll take what I can get. I didn't ask no questions. She want me, she can have me. The fuck? She can have me, nigga. In my brain, if you beg, you can't choose, bro. I can't be starving. And then when you offer me food, I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm homeless. You give me McDonald's. No, I don't want McDonald's, bro. Get me some Nobu. I'd be a jackass to do that. So when she came to me, I said, okay. I said, bet. But unlike EDP, my story actually had a sad ending. She cheated on me. Straight up cheated on me. And because she was dating me, she owed me loyalty. I was expecting her to be faithful to me. EDP's heartbreak came with a girl he wasn't even dating. She hugged him and held his hand, and he hated her. This girl cheated on me. Yes, I was sad. And yes, I cried because real men cry when they're sad. That's how we deal with our feelings. Express your emotions. You don't have to go straight to anger. It's okay to be sad. He cried when that girl broke up with him. No need to get mad though. I can understand being like a little bit, oh, why the fuck she do that to me for? But I'm not gonna hate all women because of the actions of one woman. But the saying is true. Time heals all wounds. Once I felt better, I simply moved on because sometimes bad people exist. I'll take it one step farther. Sometimes good people do bad things. I'll take it another step further. People in high school are not perfect beings. They are not thinking rationally a lot of the times. Most of the times. Most of the times, They're thinking with their crotch, and their crotch will lead them to do things that once they get their post-nut clarity, they'll probably think to themselves, why did I just do that? But because in that moment of time, their hormones are they're raging so hard, basically it overtakes them. And they do stupid shit. I was aware of that. I came to terms with that, and I was able to move on and not hate every single girl ever because of something one girl did to me. Instead of beefing with every woman I ever encountered for the rest of my life, I simply let it go and kept it pushing. And as we know, that's not what EDP did. He was not able to let it go. When he made his YouTube channel, his first few videos that blew up were of him screaming in his car, ranting about how much he dislikes women.
All of my anger leading back from middle school, high school, getting rejected by women, it just came the fuck out in that one goddamn video. I was fucking heated.
He moved on to football soon after, but the sentiment reared its ugly head every now and then, which led to where we are today. Instead of taking accountability and fixing himself mentally and physically, he pushed the blame onto women as if there's some hive mind that moved to the beat of the same drum. He thought his newfound money and status would fix everything, but his issues are things that only he and he alone can fix. If he was a nice person, he would be able to get a lot more women than he was at that time, even in his obese body, morbidly obese body. Because at least when you're nice, it's an add-on. Why would a woman want you? First of all, you're ugly as shit. Secondly, you're morbidly obese. And third of all, you hate women with a burning desire. Why would they want you with all those three factors? Your money can't overlook those three fat negatives, bro. They don't want you. If he was able to fix those internal and external things, he would have gotten a lot more women, and that wouldn't have led him down the path that we're about to go on to next. He was so sex deprived that it began to worsen his already terrible porn addiction. And it got to the point where he began to call phone sex operators to add a more human aspect to his degenerosity. However, that wasn't enough, which led to him getting extremely desperate in his search for fornication, even looking in places that breached the boundaries of the law. That's when he started talking to minors. A rival football YouTuber was the first to expose EDP for talking to minors, whilst following hundreds of them.
So inside my first video, I came out with just accusations. In the second video, I showed dead proof evidence.
So what is this, man? Come on, EDP445. I thought you said you're not a pedo, right?
Of him texting 2 to 3 girls, cute, calling them sexy. More girls started coming out and started texting me like, hey, he was also texting me this inappropriate stuff. So I looked at his followers list, right? He had around 300 to 400 accounts he was following. The problem with that is around 120 to 130 of these accounts, 13-year-olds.
He reached the point where it became too much for him to do on his own. The project was a lot bigger than he anticipated, so he outsourced it to someone he believed would be able to do it better. A racist bigot.
I knew at this point, it was just out of my hands. This is not my expertise. There's only so much I can show. So I need to take it to the next level. And out there, you got a lot of these guys who catch predators online. And there was one guy I've been watching for years who's really, really, really good at it. I reached out to him. His name is Alex Rosen.
My name's Alex Rosen, and I'm the head of Predator Poachers, and we catch online child predators.
So now we have a pedophilic bigot versus a racist bigot. Was the police not an option? I mean, I'll take it since it exposed him to a larger scale and derailed his entire life. In this one, we're gonna have to root for the lesser of two evils. As vile as all this is, as disgusting and deplorable as everything EDP said and done and was about to do, Alex Rosen committed the biggest oopsie that will lead to this case being thrown out in any and every courtroom. Entrapment. He got the decoy to message EDP first, which in the eyes of the law is seen as being tricked, persuaded, or coerced. To me, in my pea-sized brain, I don't think you can trick a regular, well-adjusted person into having sex with a 7th grader. But who am I to say? I'm just some random guy who talks on the internet for free. I don't make the laws. From that point onward, nothing that happened mattered in the eyes of the law. As terrible as everything he said, did, and was about to do was, because they reached out to him first, it was null and void. The next thing we see is EDP arriving to the scene of the crime and asking for a fist bump once he is caught, followed by the cupcake line.
Again, so what brings you out here today?
Well, I was actually coming out here to pick up a cupcake.
I brought up that in the court of law, everything that just transpired was null and void. But in the court of online discourse, he might as well have committed mass murder. He just got caught attempting to commit the most heinous crime out there, and the internet took it and wouldn't let it go, and began the most warranted cancellation of an online personality ever. This news hit every corner of the digital space, and his face was admitted to the internet's most wanted list. He was number one. EDP started talking all big, saying his only real regret was not bringing his gun so he could murder everyone on the scene.
But the main thing I feel like I regret that day is I didn't bring my Glock off the counter and I didn't shoot those motherfuckers, you know what I mean?
Brother, what? You think adding a triple homicide to your charges would have been a good idea? Yeah, the cupcake video and this entire expose wouldn't exist, but the police would have gotten the call about shots being fired, rallied the squad, and gotten to the crime scene before your fat ass even made it halfway to your car. Running was never an option for you.
In my mind, as I'm walking out, just get the fuck out, dude. Just go. Get out, go, run, now.
You accepting your fate then and there was the best course that you could have possibly taken. Anything else would have ended in the best course for us, the general public, because you would have been in jail. To make matters worse, this dumbass genuinely thought all of this would blow over.
Well, I thought that it would blow over because, like, you know, in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, you know, yeah, I got caught, but nothing actually fucking happened.
You, the YouTuber with nearly 4 million subscribers, was outed as a max-level mega pedophile trying to meet up with and rape a 13-year-old. You thought that would blow over on its own? I see university was never an option for you post-high school. So he called his lawyer, and that lawyer must have been Better Call Saul, because he told EDP, hey, big dog, you good. That goofball that tried to expose you, Alex Rosen, he botched the operation so badly that the police only see it as a case of online drama. Click.
Give him a call. I'm like, everything cool? What the fuck? Like, should I be worried? He's all like, he's all like, oh no, man, just sit tight, man. Ain't nothing going on. He has a little computer to where, you know, he can see if, like, you know, you're under investigation or anything like that. Was never under investigation. Yeah, they looked into it, but because good old Alex Rosen, right? Because he decided to fuck up and botch this goddamn sting operation so badly, there's nothing that they could do.
Alex Rosen saved EDP. I mean, I guess I'll take this because Alex Rosen still ruined his life. So there's no true good guy here. So I guess I'll take Alex Rosen. Like, oh, I guess, bro, I guess. No one could press charges and he remained a free man. He celebrated his win of not going to prison by shooting his guns while wearing his little MAGA hat. Can I say I'm surprised? No. But if he wanted to be free so badly, why on God's green earth would he go on this exact documentary and essentially admit that everything he was caught doing was true? Money. He may have been able to avoid jail time, but that expose done by Alex Rosen was able to derail his entire life. YouTube, along with other sources of income that he had, banned him and stopped him from posting online. He was no longer able to make money, so now he looks for any way to make money. This is when Chris Hansen showed up to interview EDP, which I spoke about earlier, which made no sense to me. At this point of the video, we are well aware that EDP is not some misunderstood genius. He's not the Joker with a tragic backstory and past full of abuse and trauma. He is simply an obese bigot who is mad all the time, who thinks he is owed women due to his sudden influx of money and status. And because he wasn't able to get that, he then turned to taking advantage of vulnerable little kids. That is all. And I'm sure Chris Hansen knew that by the time he got to the interview. Or not knew that by the time he got there, but I'm sure they told him, they gave him a little backstory about the man he's about to interview. If he was aware of that information, why would Chris Hansen accept this? What do you gain from interviewing EDP? There's a reason why that primetime movie is being made about you, because this interview is seen as nothing more than him being opportunistic. Him interviewing a famous pedophile, him saying, oh, there's a bunch of pedophiles out there, but we never know why.
Every day, there's a new person that gets exposed for some type of sexual contact with a minor. Whenever it happens, we're all like, oh, what was he thinking? Why would he do that? But you never hear why. They never say why. They don't say anything, or they disappear, or they act like it didn't happen. And so as uncomfortable and fucked up as this documentary is, it actually answers that question.
There's nothing to know here. This man simply got no bitches, to the point where he became a deranged lunatic. He was looking for any vagina. That's where he went all the way down to 13. EDP was sitting across from Chris Hansen, smug as fuck, because he knows they can't do shit to him. Chris Hansen being there kind of boosted EDP's ego, because, hey, you guys are pulling out the big guns for me? Too bad you can't arrest me, huh? EDP sitting there, sipping on his drink, giving the most cocky replies, because he can. Chris Hansen's asking him, what were you gonna do at the scene of the crime? And EDP replied very candidly, saying, what do you think I was gonna do, buddy?
Why did you show up that day? Why did you go to that location? What did you think was going to happen?
I showed up to that location that day, trying to obviously meet up with an underage girl. You know what I mean? And I guess you can say trying to have sex. I don't know. I mean, whatever.
You trying to have sex with a 13-year-old girl?
For the most part, yep.
The whole thing was just Chris Hansen reading the transcript, with EDP sitting across from him, not giving a single fuck. Then it got to a point where Chris started bragging about the fact that if it was him who conducted the operation, EDP would be in jail. But then that just gave EDP the opportunity to reply with the most smug reply possible. But it wasn't you, so I'm free.
Well, you could look at it two ways. Maybe prison is where you belong because of this.
If it was where I belong, I'd be in shackles right now, so.
But I have to tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
Had this been me doing an investigation, your EDP445 ass would be in prison now.
Yeah, what Chris said was true, but just like the Avatar, when we needed you most, you were not there. Yeah, you probably would have got him arrested, but you were retired. You weren't an option. So the fucking guy we were stuck with was a jackass who made sure that wasn't gonna be able to be taken to court. I'll take it anyways, because like I said, it ruined his life. It derailed everything he had going on. So I guess I will take it, but he should be in jail, and he's not. EDP does hate Alex Rosen nonetheless, because he did ruin his life. So I guess I have to be thankful to that guy. Fuck. Another fascinating discovery is that EDP has a very warped view of reality, where he thinks his life was unjustly tampered with.
You know what though, Mike? It's perfectly fine. It's great because everybody hates a pedophile, right? Okay, cool. So that's perfectly fine. So just, fuck the fact that you're ruining my goddamn life, right? It's good, great, it's fucking wonderful. This world is fucked up, man.
Yes, nigga. Fuck you and your life. How mush-brained do you have to be to believe you have some sort of moral high ground to stand on? Just because the court of law is absolute dog shit doesn't erase the fact that you tried to commit a fucking felony. What the fuck? You should be in jail nonetheless. Just because you weren't arrested, just because you aren't behind bars, means you're free. It just means the police didn't do its fucking job. If I may, not to be rude, may I request that you kill yourself? Pretty please? Just for me? We're now 2 years removed from the situation, and this time it's EDP messaging another girl who's 15. Famous YouTuber Gideon quickly gets hold of that information, but unlike his predecessor, he doesn't want to mess up his chance to put EDP behind bars, so he contacts a professional, another YouTuber. Jesus Christ, man. I mean, he's better than the last option, so I guess, but Jesus fucking Christ. Here we go again. A lot of people were attacking the decoy for lying multiple times in this documentary. Like when she was saying she felt uncomfortable messaging EDP even though she was doing it out of her own free volition, and when she tried to lie about the fact that she straight up sent EDP a picture of her boobs.
She's all like, hey, would you like to see a picture of my tits? sure, why not? What the fuck? Like, why the fuck are you even asking me that fucking shit? But sure, why not? So I did play a part in it too. Okay, I'm looking like, sure, why not? You know? Yeah. The reason I let her send me those pictures is because I was horny as fucking beating my shit at the time.
She was also using a lot of vague terminology, such as, I don't want to let anyone down, and I was encouraged to do so.
And I continued messaging him because it was very encouraged for me to keep doing it. I didn't really want to, but I didn't want to disappoint anybody.
I think she wanted to involve herself in the online beef drama with very famous YouTubers like EDP, Gideon, and Skeeter Jean, so she went out of her way to make herself become almost indispensable and as useful as possible so that EDP would be drawn to her and only her. And that was made more evident when she said she was hoping for a sting operation.
I was hoping to get a sting operation, but they kind of didn't want to do that because Gideon hired a private investigator.
A sting operation usually has the decoy on the scene. Since EDP didn't want to drive 2 hours to meet up with her, they decided to jump the gun and catch him on his way to his dialysis appointment, which they said was underwhelming.
He told me to kiss his ass.
2 years ago, you were caught. Kiss my ass. And
The whole meetup was underwhelming, you know? Like, he just went inside.
Bryant, it's disappointing.
He said 2 words and then he walked right in.
Which goes to show they weren't there to put him behind bars. They just wanted their own viral EDP moment. Why would the underwhelmingness matter? Instead of waiting for EDP to try and get with the minor putting himself at the scene of the crime, they got too impatient and jumped the gun. Why would you go meet him outside of a medical center? What did you expect to happen? And why was Gideon wearing a cupcake outfit? You cannot tell me these guys were doing this seriously. Gideon clearly wanted his funny moment. Fair enough, the cupcake outfit was funny, but you wearing that cupcake outfit undermines the fact that you were actually meeting up with a criminal. Why are you making light of the fact that this man is an actual pedophile by wearing that outfit? It makes no sense. And by meeting him there, I won't even say it gives him plausible deniability. He wasn't at the scene of any crime. He could simply deny everything or walk away. And he did the latter. Chris Hansen chimes in on this and calls it a clown show.
Spots.
It's an embarrassing clown show. He says the same thing over and over again. The way this investigation, it's not really an investigation, but the way this was conducted makes it unprosecutable.
Which he's completely right on. These guys did not care about getting EDP put behind bars, because if that was the case, they could have simply handed that information to the police because EDP messes the decoy first, which means it is no longer entrapment. Or if they wanted all the glory for themselves, they could have just been more patient until EDP showed up to the scene of the crime with intent. But because they couldn't do either or, EDP gets to walk away and live another day. He gets to live a free man because they couldn't fucking wait. When Chris went on his spiel on Skeeter Jean, Skeeter didn't like that, which led to his opinion on Chris changing, which led to him calling Chris a hypocrite because he believes Chris does the same thing.
Yeah, it did definitely change my opinion on him a bit because I think he was a bit hypocritical with a statement that he made. He said that I was just doing this for clicks, views, and ad revenue, basically. I mean, are you telling me that he's not doing it for the same reasons?
No, Skeet, you guys are not the same. Yes, you both get paid to do it, but Chris does not botch and rush operations. He waits for the perpetrator to be on the scene of the crime before he does anything. And he also has officers on standby to make sure these people go where they belong. You guys showed up to a CVS in an open carry state. If you guys pressed EDP a bit too hard, he would legally be allowed to blame you. And you think what you and Chris are doing is the same thing? Yeah, no. The next segment belongs to the decoy Kayla, who claims to be a victim of Gideon. She said he used her as a puppet, making her do his every demand and encouraging her to keep talking to EDP for the sake of catching him.
I feel like I was a victim of EDP, but I think I was mainly a victim, this is gonna sound crazy, but mainly a victim of Gideon, in a way. I feel like for a long time I was his little puppet.
In what way were you his puppet?
I feel like I was his puppet because I was just kind of doing the things he demanded me to do. I feel like I am a victim of Gideon because he encouraged me to keep talking to a pedophile.
Gideon tried defending himself by saying he kept constantly asking for her consent. He also said he was checking in on her all the time to make sure she was okay, and that if she was going to keep speaking to EDP, to not talk to him in a sexual manner or send him any sexual material.
Every single time we would talk to her, I would ask her if she's okay.
Are you sure you're good? Like, I want to make sure you're okay, because I know like this could be really, really. Are you sure you're good?
She was like, no, I'm okay. I'm okay. I want to get him arrested. I want to get him arrested.
I told Gideon every single time that EDP would send me dick pics, but he would never tell me to like block him or anything.
I want you to block him on your phone, right?
But we would tell her, if you're going to keep on talking to him, don't talk sexual, and please don't send any explicit photos.
This is where she gets caught in her lie about her sending EDP a picture of her boobs.
No, I did not send EDP any pictures of me that were nude. What did happen when he asked me for them was that Gideon got like a lookalike of me, and I kind of photoshopped her face into Google pictures.
And she told me something about like her like looking up like something in photoshopping, and I was like, okay, no, like do not do that. To my knowledge, I never knew that she actually sent anything because I never seen any images of that, but she sent something explicit.
Yeah, Kayla Hoskins actually sent me a picture of her tit. You know, she didn't Photoshop a goddamn thing. She literally sent me fucking nudes of her fucking tits.
As you can see, Gideon clearly did not know about this incident until this interview was conducted, which happened years after the second incident. Kayla then goes on to say she has proof but will not show it out of fear of Gideon's fans.
So I'd like to let the viewers know that I don't know what they're gonna say, but don't believe it. Because I have proof. I'm just too scared to show the proof because Gideon has a big audience, and I don't want them to attack me.
If she actually does have proof that she photoshopped her face onto someone else's body, that would be the easiest thing to just show out there, because all you would need to do is show a side by side. The original picture of that naked girl and then the picture of Kayla's face on the girl's body. If you don't have that proof, keep it to yourself because that would be CP. Then it shows a list of other claims she said about Gideon, which include calling him a scam artist and saying that he's controlled by the Illuminati. Skeet hears about this and says that Kayla is using this as an opportunity to boost her career. And Kayla kind of agrees by calling herself an opportunist.
Maybe she's sort of using the whole situation as leverage to boost her music career and such. So, you know, again, while she's a victim, I think she's kind of using the whole situation as leverage to gain followers a little bit.
Now, me personally, am I an opportunist? Yes, I am. But I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
But I think everyone is forgetting that Kayla is 15 years old. Why would they use a 15-year-old as a decoy to catch a pedophile? That isn't a decoy. That is the intended target. That's like saying, I'm going to use a gazelle as a decoy to catch a cheetah. That's not a fucking decoy. That's what it was fucking hunting for. Decoys are supposed to be of age, and anyone with a brain knows that. I don't care how much she lied. She was not supposed to be involved. I do not care how badly she wanted to be a part of this operation. She was not supposed to be involved. She is 15 years old. Why on God's green earth would Gideon and Skeeter G not delegate that task? And if she didn't want to hand it over, dissociate, tell her parents, and stop fucking with her. What you are doing is a crime. You're literally inciting a 15-year-old to message a pedophile. You are putting her in harm's way. When Chris Hansen called it a clown show, he nailed it right on the head. These guys are a fucking joke. I didn't know the decoy was 15 years old until I watched this documentary. And when I found out, I was baffled. At least we know Alex Rosen is a bad person. He doesn't try and hide it. But Gideon and Skeeter Jean pretend to know better. Pretend that they are better. But what they actually did was worse than anything Alex Rosen has done. The worst thing he's done is say the N-word with a hard R. These guys put a 15-year-old in danger. She saw EDP's fucking dick. I don't care if she asked for it. They let her message a pedophile unsupervised. What the fuck do you think was gonna happen? Kayla is right. She is a victim. And the fact that they're trying their hardest to weasel their way out of it and pretend like, oh, I didn't know this was happening, that doesn't matter. You let a 15-year-old speak to a predator unsupervised. And I don't care about any of this. Oh, she wanted to do it. I don't care. She's 15 and there's a whole bunch of famous people around her. Anyone at that age would do anything to be useful to anyone they look up to. But it's the responsibility of the adults to say, no, you can't do this. It is not safe. The same reason we don't let kids drive cars. The same reason we don't let kids hold firearms, because it is not safe. They wanted to watch EDP dig his own grave so bad that they forgot the fact that the 15-year-old was in the grave with him. She saw his fucking dick, bro. No one on earth should be forced to go through such trauma. It was Gideon and Skeeter's responsibility to make sure that she stopped her involvement the minute they found out that EDP was messaging her. Whew, okay, that's it. We're halfway through this documentary and that was everything relevant. The rest of the video just shows us EDP's daily life struggles. We find out that he has a failing kidney or something like that, and if he misses one appointment, he will most likely drop dead. So he constantly has to work to keep paying for those appointments, to keep going to the appointment, to keep going to work.
And I got diagnosed with end-stage kidney failure, which is like stage 5. If I were to miss a treatment, the chances of me dying would be about maybe 65 to 70%. So I can't miss a treatment ever.
He is literally in the worst loop of all time. All we can do now is pray he gets a flat tire on one of his appointment days. So everyone join hands and ask God, God, please! The next thing that's extremely funny is EDP's list of real niggas. If you were on this list, you should really reconsider everything you've done in life and what you can do or what you should do to change the course of your life. This might be the worst cosign of all time since that Audi ad campaign with Adolf Hitler back in the Second Reich days. And last but not least, this man talks about his hatred for gay people and the fact that he is not gay way too much in this documentary.
Lesbian porn is some good shit. Now, when I say that, there's a difference between lesbian porn and gay porn. I'm not fucking with no fag shit. Yeah, fuck all that. First off, I'm not a fucking faggot. I'm not a homo. And, oh yeah, I'm gonna let a guy fuck me in the ass. He's really hot though. I don't give a shit. Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm cool as fuck. Like, nah, nigga, I'm straight. I'm not attracted to dicks, bro. I'm just fucking not, man. I am like sexually fucking attracted to girls, bro, to women, my nigga.
Grindr is a gay app. It's an app for gay men. Grindr is gay as fuck. I do not use that fucking, yeah, fuck that. I don't use that fucking bullshit.
Brother, nobody asked you. Why do you keep bringing it up? If you were in the closet, it is made of glass. Does he know it's okay to be gay? He genuinely believes being a fucking pedophile is better than being gay.